Welcome back to Building Developmental with Dr. Tom Pritchard himself. Dr. Tom, how are you, sir?
Doing great, Brian.
Good to hear. Today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about. I know we previously discussed the curriculum and how, at the time with this administration, they wanted you guys to build a professional wrestler within a year's time frame. Can we talk about how that's just not possible to do? In most cases, it's not possible to do.
Well, when you say it's not possible to do, I mean we can do anything, but
Mm-hmm.
they wanted something that's structured to where you do this one week, you do this the next week, and the next week, and the next week, and you follow along that way. And I eventually got around to doing that in my book,
Mm-hmm.
but the reason you can't do that practically is because some people come along faster than others. And you can progress them, and others may have potential, but they're having a little hard time getting something. So you may have to stick with one thing or a couple things a little bit longer than you would as if you would have done this first week, that second week, this third week. So they may be still in one week, the first week, in week three, or 6 weeks down the road, they're still struggling with something,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't want to give up on those guys because they have potential. The other guys who you looked at, you had to try and realize which ones did have potential and which ones didn't. So it was just one of those things where there's no one size fits all in training. I don't think there's I think the only way to really learn this is to go out and do it in front of people
Mm-hmm.
and listen to the crowd and then get different reactions from different crowds. But I mean, they were searching for something, and uh, what they found is that you can't always get strict 1 year training from start to finish. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a great outline, but I don't think it's the end all be all.
Mm-hmm. And was that just as FCW was launching? Was that the attitude at that time, or did that come a little bit later into FCW already being there?
FCW was there, but they were looking for something they could look at. I guess it and writing something down to see what they're doing. And we did that already. We would write down what they did every day anyway. So yeah, that was a little bit later on in developmental, but they got what they got.
Now, was that like you said? It's not impossible, but was that just the attitude for everybody they signed, or were they thinking maybe more like the established professional wrestlers already?
No, I think they were looking for everybody that signed. They wanted to come in and do the system like for 1 year, start at 1 year. Well, and you're going to have different people come in at different times of the year too. So you're having uh, a different year system. Some people are going to learn faster than others, and some people are better than others. So um, I just think they were looking for something to have in front of them that they can show Vince
Mm-hmm.
and say, look, this is what we're doing for this week, that week, and everything else. Which we gave them a report all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but they were looking for other stuff to make us keep us busy, I guess.
Now, was it well received when that wasn't a possibility in most cases, or was there, why aren't you
Well,
doing your job?
the thing is, once it came down and I came up with a 1 year system, the next day they fired me. So I don't think they were really looking for a 1 year system. I think
Mm-hmm.
they were just looking for something,
Mm-hmm.
and only they know what that was. But they got a great system now,
Yeah,
and it's working for
most definitely. With
them.
with people not progressing as further as they should during a specific time, a week, or if they would expect them to be further along, how is it guiding them to get them to where they need to be if they're not exactly like we should be doing this week? Is that Is that an easy thing, a hard thing? Can it be like a middle ground to do that? And were they receptive
It can
during?
be difficult. It can be difficult when you have somebody who really doesn't know what wrestling is and maybe played football their whole life or baseball or another sport. If they didn't, if they never watched wrestling, they weren't aware of the dynamics and aware of what it actually is, um, then that's going to be a lot more difficult. But we would just take them along and keep training them and training them to the best of our ability. And when they got up to the main roster, I mean, ultimately it was us they were going to look at. But in the end, I really think you got to look at the individual
Mm-hmm.
and see, how bad they really want this. Because I've met people who weren't as quick to pick up the basics and fundamentals,
Mm-hmm.
but they went on to have a pretty good career.
Now, going through that, do you think that how many talents were they wanting per year? Did they give you guys a number of how many they wanted to be called up?
When John first came, John was saying he was hoping for maybe 3 to 4 a year,
Mm-hmm.
and we gave him way more than that. So
Is that do you is that a hard thing to do? Like, do you think that many talents? I know it's a big pool of people. So, what would be a successful number in your mind to not oversaturate, not overcrowd, not get these people lost in the shuffle with all the main roster and then introducing new characters?
well, what happened was we kept getting new people in, and then they said, well, now we need these next guys to move up by this date,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, so you had to realize there were certain places and certain spots these guys had to fill.
Mm-hmm.
And they had high hopes for a lot of the football players that came in and the guys who looked great. And uh, but again, it goes back to not everybody's ready and not everybody feels it. Not everybody wants to do this as bad as the next guy. So I think it was just a matter of finding these guys niche
Mm-hmm.
and getting them on the roster, seeing if they can sink or swim.
What background of talent had the hardest struggle that wasn't from professional wrestling? You feel?
I don't know if we had any certain sports that were harder than the other ones. I mean, we had a guy come in for a tryout one time who I don't know how I know well he got the tryout because he had a name they wanted and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to copyright the name. And back then when you came in for a tryout, you did the morning workout and you did the afternoon workout. Well, he came from the morning workout, and we saw him in the ring. We asked, he didn't know how to lock up. This guy had been wrestling for 15 years. 15 years couldn't do a proper lockup. Um, he didn't know how to grab an armbar. Didn't know how to grab a headlock. Now, when we asked him why, he said because all I did was fight. All I did was wrestle or brawl. I never wrestled. Well, you have to have the basics and fundamentals to get in, and you have to know those first. Well, after the first class, he went home and took a nap and didn't come back for the afternoon class. So, those kind of people talk about how bad they want it, but yet here's your opportunity to show how bad you want it, and you go home and take a nap. So he never came back. Yeah.
Was that you don't have to mention names, but was that the nickname they wanted from someone?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. That was the one.
And then he just thought he got a deal, and
Yeah.
yeah.
That was it. They sure did. They thought, first all they wanted was a name, and then they said, well, he's a pretty big guy. Let's see what he could do. And we saw what he could do.
He could brawl.
Yeah. Well, I'm not even so sure he could do that.
Now, when they bring people in like that, is it harder for everybody in the room? Because obviously, once word gets out of something like that, Does that rub people the wrong way, like talent wise, you feel, or you guys maybe?
Well, nobody ever mentioned it to me, but I mean, it rubbed me wrong because the guy was just he was a slob. I
Hmm.
mean, not sugarcoating anything. He just was a big slob and thought he'd get by in these outlaw organizations going in there. He was bigger than most, and he could do very little.
Hmm.
Didn't have to do much, you know. So, but I'm sure it rubbed a few people the wrong way. Looking at this guy, wondering what the hell is he doing here.
Is that a rarity for something like that back then, for them to bring someone in for something like that to get a name, or just something that they maybe have saw in someone and they just give them a tryout?
Yeah, I don't remember it happening very often,
Mm.
but if they saw something, they would bring him in for a try. Or if somebody on the road went out and saw somebody else, you know, I think it was Tommy Dreamer who met Tyrus at a bar
Hmm.
and gave him his card. He said, "Call me. I think you'd be a great fit." And he came in and Tyrus had a great attitude. I like Tyrus. So, but yeah, for the most part, if somebody saw somebody or thought they might, you know, might have something,
Hmm.
they'd bring them in for a tryout.
Those tryouts, were you ever hands on with those, or was it what was a standard tryout to see if you could earn a WWE developmental deal for FCW?
We do the 3 day tryouts where you come in, we do the cardio, we do the see if you could work, see if you could bump, see if you could follow direction, can you adapt, and that would take 3 days. Promos.
Hmm.
Uh, oh man, I can't remember what else we did now, but we did bumps, promos, wrestling, and that was it.
Now, during these 3 days, was there less people like the following day and then the final day, or did they majority of them did they all stick around?
The majority stuck around. They wanted to come in at least make the most out of the 3 days, I think.
What was the biggest struggle for those tryouts for them, you think?
I think promos probably were the biggest struggle for those guys because they're doing it right in front of Dusty Rhodes and trying to give them their best stuff. And a lot of guys would go up there and yell and scream, and then Dream would tell them what they wanted or what he wanted, and then they try to adapt to that too. But I think promos probably were the biggest struggle at that time.
I could see that. I think that's probably a big struggle for a lot of people. Either they've got it or they don't, I feel, or like they're better a worker than they are a talker. So then I can see how that may be like it would distract them and not it would throw them off basically
Yeah.
and take away because they feel like they're lacking in this certain area.
Well, you had a guy like Bobby Eaton who was a tremendous worker, but he just couldn't talk. He needed somebody to talk for him. So when you have a manager like Jim Cornette, just pair Bobby and Jim together and it's gold.
Hmm.
But for the most part, yeah, it if a guy could work and he's worth trying to take a chance on,
Hmm.
they would find something for him and they would find somebody to talk for him.
Were they big on promos at this time? Like they wanted people that could the total package during FCW?
Yeah, yeah, I think they were always big on promos, especially with Dream there,
Hmm.
because he was the man who could bring something out of anybody. I think
Was that a make or break during that time for some people?
for some people, yeah,
Hmm. Growing as FCW did, was it? I know a lot of people came through those doors, but were there uninvited people sometimes because it was right off of the Gandhi there, and were people trying to just come in and ask for a job?
yeah, yeah, all the time. Uh, Titus O'Neil came in asking. He just came through the back door because it was never locked. He just said Dave Batista told him to come in and talk to Steve Kern. So I told him to come back later. Steve will be back later at 1 o'clock. But we would get people wander off the streets, want to come in and watch, and want to see things, and we have to tell them no, this is private.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was Titus O'Neil like an exception, or was there more people that maybe came in that way during FCW?
Well, he was the exception because he had met Dave somewhere, probably at the gym, and
Mm-hmm.
asked him how to get a start. And Dave told him to come on down to FCW and tell him he sent him.
And that was obviously a good pick for FCW to pick up there.
Yeah, yeah. Titus had personality, but I mean, I think he had a little hard time picking it up because he wasn't, he wasn't that big a. Well, yeah, I guess he was that big of a wrestling fan, but I don't think he was that schooled on what it took, obviously, and it
Mm-hmm.
took him a little while to grab it, but he was good enough to get it. Yeah.
How is it coaching people through those struggles that they have and keeping them level headed and and empowering them?
Well, that was our job. We had to empower them. We had to get them through it, and we did the best we could with what we had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was a struggle at times, but our job was to empower these guys and get them out there where they can perform.
I know we talked earlier in an episode about it, but you said your job was to empower people, but you also had to be careful with how many pats on the backs that you gave as well.
Yeah, yeah, because you can give somebody enough confidence to where they get overconfident,
Mm-hmm.
and then they trip over themselves and get screwed.
Mm. Is it hard being with that many men and women at that young of age to try to keep them all level headed?
Oh yeah, man, you're dealing with 20-year-olds and young people like that, and they're all in one place. It's the beach. You all have a tan, and everybody's working out, looking great, and starting to feel their oats and feel
Mm-hmm.
like now they're with WWE. They signed the developmental deal, and nothing can stop them. So sometimes you have to put your foot down and tell them they're going a little bit overboard. They need to chill out and buckle down.
Especially being in Tampa, Florida, I would say.
Tampa, yes, yes, and I'm sure Orlando's got the same vibe to it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
a beautiful state. Yeah,
There's a lot more to do in Florida than there is Louisville, Kentucky, Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a lot easier
very
to get
true.
a lot easier to get in trouble as well.
Well, yeah, yeah, but I think if you're going to get in trouble, you're going to get in trouble anywhere you go.
I,
So,
I I did an interview with Brett DiBiase, and he said that his first the one thing his dad told him was don't be an idiot, don't get in trouble, and they
right.
all took him out and they got him drunk and they maxed out his credit card.
Yeah, yeah, that happens, man. I mean, there was a few instances where everybody went out and did something they shouldn't do.
FCW also had a lot of that second generational talent. What was it like working with them? Because you worked with a lot of their parents.
Right. Well, it was cool. I mean, the DiBiase's both were there, Teddy and Brett, and they were both cool. They were good guys. Kurt Hennig's son. Oh, trying to think. What would they call Kurt's?
Like, well, he was Joe Henning for a while, and he was
Ax
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So I mean, besides giving him that name, I mean, he was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, every second generational talent I've interviewed, they always told them they wanted them to work like their dad, and then they would switch it up and they would change it just when they get comfortable working how they want them to work, and then they would be like, no, 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 we're not going to do that, or they would have them work like them but not say that they are their children.
Right. Right. And I never understood that either. But maybe they just thought there was too many
Mm-hmm.
second generation. Same thing with Braun Breaker. I don't know why they would do something like that, but they have their reasons.
Yeah, but then they acknowledge it. That's the thing that
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I can understand because everybody's going to know, and it's going to be. I mean, it's a different business today than when I broke in. And you have the internet. You have everybody with instant knowledge at their fingertips. They could Google anything and find out. Back then, it was not as it was as I don't know if it was as easy, but it wasn't as prevalent, I guess,
Hmm.
except for the really hardcore fans.
Yeah. With
So yeah,
with
that's what I was just saying.
oh, sorry. With all these second generational talents at that time, did they want them to go up faster, or were they just like everybody else?
They were just like everybody else. They want to see who had talent and who didn't.
Hmm.
I don't think it may have mattered in some cases, but that was never brought to my attention. But I think it was just like everybody else. Do they have talent or do they not?
Was there any second generational talent that maybe didn't make it as far as they should have, that you felt that you thought had the potential to go further than what they did?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Any?
Curtis Axel was one of them. Uh, Ted DiBiase Jr. was one of them. That really had the potential, but for whatever reason, and I don't know what happened, but something happened and they got stuck.
Hmm. And it seemed like that there was always a ceiling during that time period, where like they push, 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 and then they just stop.
Yeah, and it really is up to the individual talent to continue that push and to show them that you're
Hmm.
you're working hard for this and not just going to be dumped in your lap and take it.
Absolutely. During when you're managing these people and you're working with them and you're training them and you're getting to know them, when it doesn't work out for that specific person, is that a hard thing for you guys to? Do you feel for them?
Well, sure. Sure, you feel for anybody who comes in and this is their dream, and we listen to all their stories and what they want to do. Um, and then when that call comes, I mean, they come and talk to you about
Hmm.
it, and you have to explain to them that it's business, and that's how it falls sometimes.
Did you know getting into the position that you were in that you'd also be a therapist and all these other roles that you
Oh man,
were?
yeah, I had an idea, but I wasn't sure it was going to be like this. No, it wasn't that bad, but I mean, they would look for a shoulder to lean on or cry on or whatever they needed to do. And yeah, I can feel for them. I totally understood. I've been let go before, and I know how it feels.
And for no reason at all. Sometimes it's
Well,
crazy when you're in that business.
somebody always has a reason.
Hmm.
It may be their reason, but it can be as petty as they didn't like the color trunks you were wearing, and you didn't change when they told you to. So, I mean, just crazy stuff.
I interviewed Jay Bradley a while back, and he said that they were overseas one time, and Vince said that he looked like Elvis, so he wanted him to cut all his hair off and shave his face, and he walked by, and he did it and went back, and Vince didn't know who the hell he was.
Right, right. See, that's what I mean. Some nights he gets a great idea and wants to tell you about it, and next day it's like, who are you?
Hmm.
Yeah, that happened.
Or like with the Bashams in OVW, where Cornette they shaved Doug Basham's head, and Cornette lost his damn mind because he could have had a program, and they're just
Right,
like, eh.
right. Yeah, and they would do stuff like that. I mean, it's completely changed now, but back then it was still very rough around the edges. Let's say that.
It's more structured now. I feel more.
A little more structured, yeah.
Yeah, there's a
A
lot
lot
more
structured.
rules and regulations these days.
Yes, there are, and for good reason too. By God.
Training these people, and is it something that every time you do this, you just get more passionate about what you're doing?
There are times when you're training people and you see the progress and you see the improvements. And other times you're so frustrated you don't know where else to turn or what to do.
Hmm.
So, and that's usually when I talk to Steve or talk to Norman and see if they had any ideas, because it's tough doing the same thing over and over,
Hmm.
and then having to try and make these people progress and be stars on TV. So yeah, it can get a little frustrating sometimes.
Did you ever have to be in a position to make a call that this person just wasn't progressing and you just don't think that it's not for them?
Yeah, yeah,
Is
sure
that
have.
is that a hard conversation? Is that something you may lead or Steve would lead or you guys are together?
Uh, there was times when I would sit down with them. There were times when Steve would sit down with them, or Dream would sit down with them. But we would just tell them this. We don't think this is for you. I know you want it. I know you love it, but there's a lot more to it than you thought, and I think you might want to reconsider.
Now, would that ever light a fire under their ass, or most times they would end up leaving?
Most times they end up leaving, because most times the ones we talked to are the ones we kind of knew that were really didn't have a clue and didn't have a chance.
Hmm. But you guys had the ability to be like, they signed someone and it's just not working, and you could let the office know.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that more of a, because you've always been around developmental? Was that more happening more during FCW because of the just diversity of backgrounds?
Yeah, and it was because I was there and when we started developmental. It was just in Stanford,
Hmm.
and then when it moved to OVW, Cornette would do it or Danny Davis would do it, and then you had Cincinnati with Les Thatcher. Um, so we were in one place for a long period of time, and that was where we really got to know everybody and tell them, hey, if this is for you or not.
Hmm.
And we'd have to be pretty straight about it.
Now, on the opposite side, was there ever you guys training and pushing and developing people, and then maybe the office just didn't get it, and you guys had to make them get it?
Well, we tried. We
Hmm.
tried a few times. And I'm trying to think of the one guy, Yoshitatsu, who
Hmm.
got a job. Everybody pushed for him to get a job. Okay, once he got there, the guy could work, but he needed to take it up to the next level, and he just couldn't do it. So I mean, we tried to make the office see it, and they saw it, and they brought him up, and I said, okay, now we need to see if he can kick it into gear and go to that next place he needs to go.
Now, with him specifically, once he got to the main roster, was he still coming to FCW, or were they just working with him on the road?
Yeah, he would still come to FCW until he got on the main roster. I don't remember when he actually got on the road,
Hmm.
but I know he did some stuff. Did he do some stuff with Hogan, or did he do some stuff with John Cena?
He may have done some stuff with Cena. I think that's probably about that time period.
Yeah, yeah. So and then I think when they got him on the road, he stopped coming to FCW, but he always came back around if he was in town.
No, was that door always open for former FCW people when they were in
Sure,
town and come in and train,
sure.
and they just mingle with the rest of the class? Or it seems like from everything that I've seen, people would come see you specifically, or and people still come see you specifically to work with and train, and maybe come back from an injury. And how does that make you feel that you're these people's like number one phone call if they need something?
Well, it's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to know that if they need something, they feel good enough that they can call me. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That they have that trust, that they trust you with anything. It feels like talent specifically, they can vent to you, they can talk to you, they can cry to you, they can, hey, Dr. Tom, I got a question, how do you feel about this?
Well, I think that was the main thing about being a coach. You have to have that trust. You have to have that ability to connect with them one way or another. And if they if they needed something, knew that there was somebody they could go to. And I think that's what most of the coaches in FCW had. They had that ability to, I don't know if the word's comfort,
Mm-hmm.
or at least give you an answer that you can understand. And because a lot of times you call the office, I'm not sure I understood the answers half the time.
Is full-time coaching something you would do again, like in that capacity?
Well, if the opportunity ever came up, sure.
It, so doing that, like, where does that passion? Because you've been through all different administrations, parts of this country. You've worked with hundreds, if not thousands, of developmental talents. How come you? What makes you want to continue to coach and do this with all these people?
Well, I still love the wrestling business. I still love what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the root of it. It's still professional wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You're still going to lock up. You're still going to grab a headlock. You're still going to do something resembling wrestling. I love the showmanship. Uh, I love the hoopla. I love the everything about professional wrestling. I mean, I love a good showbiz,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it is.
I can't blame you. I think the developmental part of professional wrestling is probably the neatest, the coolest thing to like have your hands on and be a part of and watch these people grow and develop and maybe help them get it when they don't get it or show them to do it a
Yeah.
different way. I think that's the groundwork. That's the most important job, I feel.
Well, I think it is a very important job. I think the agents at the shows are also extremely important, helping you give some kind of parameter to what you can and can't
Mm-hmm.
do, or what you can and can't do well, and how to get the most out of you. So yeah, I think it is an important job.
It's just it's so cool to see now that most of these agents are people that went through the developmental system at one point in time, and now they're showing stuff that maybe you or Rip or Cornette or Danny or Steve have taught these people, and it still works for everybody.
Yeah, yeah, it is very cool. I like to see how it's working at the PC, and yeah, people are getting it.
Absolutely. Well, if you would like to, Dr. Tom, we can do this again next week.
Sounds great.
You have anything going on coming up?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm doing the Charlotte. I think it's called the Gathering. I don't know if it's called the Gathering or not, but it's August 1st in Charlotte. Um, I'm signing from 10 to 4, and that's all I have right now.
Oh, absolutely. Where can people reach out to you if they want to train?
If they want to train, go to jpwrestlingacademy.com, or you can email me at jpwrestlingacademy@gmail.com and ask me any questions you want, and be glad to help.
How many weeks you have left with your current class?
We're graduating this week.
Well, congratulations to them.
Yeah, thank you.
As always, Dr. Tom, I truly appreciate the time, and I look forward to sitting down with you again.
Sounds great, Brian.
Thank you.